Peace and blessings, Mishpachah. Shabbat Shalom. Yes, we are back. It is this day. Yes, it is Shabbat. Shabbat Shalom to each and every one of you. I'm so glad that you're here. And you know what? We're going to have a wonderful time. We're going to have a wonderful discussion with today's Torah portion. We will be right back. Well, we're here and we are back. Peace and blessings to each and every one of you. I'm your Mori for this channel, Malki Uriel. And yes, we are here to discuss. We're here to have Shabbat. We're here to enjoy. We're here to take you through a number of different segments that are going to be refreshing and entertaining. Some of them will make you scratch your head and ask questions. Definitely. But hey, I'm glad that you are here. I love each and every one of you. This is a Hebrew channel. And yes, this channel, we are Yah only. We are Tanakh only. For reasons that we would love to share with you if you are curious. If you're curious, what can you do? What can you do? Well, you can either email me or you're able to actually hop in the chat room. And yes, you're able to ask questions. You're even able to make comments. And we always say here, you just have to respect the room, respect the mic. And you know what? Hey, we don't bite unless you bite first. I'm your Mori, Malki Uriel, and I'm here to give you the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, as has been handed down to us through the Tanakh, which was handed down to our forefathers. We believe these scriptures have been ordained of the Most High. They've been spoken of the Most High and carried through tradition. And we find them today written down. At first they weren't written down. Not most immediately, but then Moshe did write them down. And maybe I should just kind of clarify that a little bit. They actually were written down. Some of the stories that are contained within the Tanakh, some of them are ancient. When you get into the Song of Moshe, and when you get into some of the other more ancient literature, these things were actually added just a little bit later. But if we notice, the Tanakh has a history. There is a literary history, if you will, with the Tanakh that says that, yeah, writing is a very big part of our heritage, and documentation is a very big part of our heritage. Deuteronomy 31:9 shows you that, and we could take you into a number of different scriptures that would prove that. But Moshe did show writings to the elders and to our fathers, and we have those writings that are now within the Tanakh itself, and so that is what we use. We stand upon that as the word of the Most High, as has been given to us. And it is even witnessed by the Christian New Testament, for everywhere in the Christian New Testament where they mention scriptures, they are referring to not the New Testament itself, but they are referring to the Tanakh. And I always say that there is only one place in the Christian New Testament where it is referring ever so lightly to itself, and that is in the erroneous words of the pseudonymous Apostle Peter, who did not write 1st or 2nd Peter. And yes, he says that people wrestle with Paul's writings as they do other scripture, and somehow alluding that maybe what Paul is writing has value as far as scripture is concerned. And that's why I always share, that's why I always remind you that anyone can decide that something is scripture. I say this over and over again so that you don't get confused when we say the word of the Most High and scripture. The two are not the same. Many people believe that the Bhagavad Gita is scripture. Many people believe that the Upanishads is scriptures. Many people that believe that other writings are scripture. And yes, it is scripture if that individual subjectively believes that, yes, this is inspired of the Most High. Yeah, then you've elevated that to scripture. But there is a difference between what we believe to be divine and what has actually been spoken by the Most High. We have as a witness from our foreparents that, yes, the words that we embrace in the Tanakh, that yes, that they are the words of the Most High. All through the Tanakh, from Genesis all the way through in the Hebrew Bible to Second Chronicles, you do not find where anyone no matter how many enemies that Moses had, no matter how many enemies that came up against Israel, there was not a single indictment against Israel or Moshe. And no one said, hey, you guys didn't have a law from you never heard from the Most High. You didn't get that law from him. No one ever said that. Even when Korah stood against Moshe, even when Aaron and Miriam stood against Moses, neither one of them said, you made that up. You didn't hear that. No, it was all agreed upon. If anything, they rather ratified that he does hear from the Most High. And guess what they said? We hear from him too. Right? So this serves as being evidence, if you will, that yes, that we're following the correct way. It has even been endorsed, it has been put in the mouth of Yeshua ben Yosef, called Jesus by the Greeks and the pagans, that as far as salvation is concerned, the Hebrews have it on lock. They are doing it the way that it's supposed to be done. High fives for everyone. And that is placed even within their Christian New Testament, found in John, the 4th chapter, verse number 22. And if you want, you can also read verse number 23. Well, just look at that for yourself, Mr. and Mrs. Christian. You'll find out that nowhere does Yeshua ben Yosef, called Jesus by the Greeks and the pagans, nowhere does he endorse Christianity. The deception is that it is a religion about someone that never endorsed, that never participated, that was never a Christian and never intended for Christianity to be a reality. He was a Hebrew. He ate kosher, he ate clean, and yes, even on a day like today, like Shabbat, he would be enjoying Shabbat. He would not be going to church on Sunday. He would not be praying to himself. He would be praying unto the Most High, as we do. And yes, he would not eat anything. He would not be eating bacon for breakfast. He wouldn't be eating hog maws and chitlin smoothies. No, he wouldn't do any of that, right? He would eat the way that we eat, which is clean, and he would honor Shabbat. Well, with that being the case, we're going to get into our main topic when we come back. And what I want to do is I want to say thank you, Miss H. Peace and blessings to you. In fact, I didn't give shout outs. Let me give some shout outs real quick before we get into our main topic. I want to say thank you to my brother from another mother. This is our Minister of Security and Safety, none other than Bergen Paris himself. Also, George Evans. Yeah, George Evans turned on the coffee pot this morning. Peace and blessings to you, my brother George Evans. I pray that you are feeling well. Pray that you are doing well. And as well, we have our brother Raymond Radcliffe in the house with us. Peace and blessings. As well, we have our brother Adrian, the Minister of Economics, with us. Peace and blessings to you, my brother Adrian. And Miss H, thank you. Miss H said, you know what? Hey, she said, I just got caught up on Wednesdays, and you know, hey, you said you had a rough day, and yes, it's been very rough these past 3 days, but continue to pray for me each day. We're seeing a little bit more light, a little bit more promise, and so we're asking you to just continue to pray for us. I know that today may be just a little bit different, but hey, if you just kind of flow with us here, we're going to try to be as expeditious as possible, and we're going to go ahead, and at this time, we're going into our Torah portion. Be right back. here we are once again at a very interesting place in the Tanakh. And again, I remind you that the Tanakh, it is not about Adam, it's not about Eve, it's not about Abraham, it's not about Jacob, it's not about any particular individual per se. It really is a medium through which we understand the hand of the Most High, and how the Most High, how he moves with us, how he deals with us in covenant, his expectations of us, and how we are to serve him and please him and draw closer to him. And we get another image of that, and we get to see it through the lens of our own humanity right here in the scripture. Let's go ahead and let's dig in, and let's go into the Tanakh. We're going to begin right here at Bereshit 32 and 4. We're going to pick up from where we left off. Now, please understand that we did just complete a lot where now we find that Jacob is leaving, right? I got to get out of Dodge. Well, as we continue, we notice here, as I read very quickly, it says, and he commanded them, saying, thus shall ye speak unto my lord Esau. That basically thy servant Jacob, he's saying, look, he's to the point to where now he is going to actually, in fact, maybe what I should do is begin in chapter 32 so that I can give you just a little bit of review. Jacob went on his way, and I want you to see this here. Jacob went on his way. Now, let me back up for a little bit, because the way of Jacob is very important. What we have found is that we find overlaps. In his forefathers, we find Abraham and Isaac. We find that there is an overlap in Jacob. There is an overlap where the one experiences what the others have also experienced. And so Isaac experienced a little bit of what Abraham experienced. Now Jacob experiences what Isaac and Abraham experiences, because if you notice, by the same way that basically he had to leave, right? We know that Jacob had to leave, but Abram left in a different way. Abram left in a different manner. Abram, as we see, the Most High had been saying, okay, it's like over the course of time, the Most High had been continually telling Abraham, look, dude, get out of Dodge, get out of here. I got something for you that's not here. You got to separate from your father, separate from your people. Well, we find the same thing happening in Jacob's life, except it comes about a different way. Remember what we established, that when the will of the Most High is spoken, if it comes to a group of people that are deceptive, then that deception is going to necessarily become a part of the Most High working out his will. If it's with people of integrity, then integrity is used. No matter what, the will of the Most High is going to come to pass. So if people are confused, then even confusion will be used to bring about the will of the Most High. The will of the Most High is going to be done. So we find here that Jacob now has to leave because he has swindled his brother out of the blessing after taking the opportunity to get his birthright from him. Now, we know that Esau sold it, right? He despised it, right? But yet and still at the same time, we see that maybe Esau didn't get the memo because he came in for the blessing. He's like, look, dude, Jacob gave me that bowl of soup. And it was good. It wasn't that good, but he gave me the bowl of soup. He could have gave me some bread. Didn't even give me any bread with it, but shoot, gave me some soup. You know what? I had said that he could have my birthright, but shoot, end of the day, hey, I can't help the fact that I'm the firstborn, and the firstborn always gets the blessing. Well, sister girl heard that, and Rebecca was like, no, I ain't letting him get the blessing. That's my boy, and I still love him, but nah. My favorite got to get that blessing. So we know last week we discovered where Jacob was disguised. He got the blessing from his father, Isaac, right? And then he after tricking his daddy and swindling his brother, now he's got to leave and get out of Dodge because he's going to fool around and get shish kebabbed if he stays there, because his brother's like, look, I'm bumping dude off as soon as I get a chance. Well, he was running, and so now we come to the place where Jacob is told by his mama, get out of Dodge. Now, really, what Rebecca does, now, just to show you that this is a household full of manipulation, Rebecca knew that she needed to get, because she heard the whole thing. She heard Esau saying, man, I'm gonna get him, I'm gonna get him, I'm gonna get him. She heard that and she's like, oh man, this is gonna be crazy. I can't have him killing my boy. And so he's like, look, I gotta get Jacob out of here. So she goes to Isaac and says, oh man, these girls around here, it's time for Jacob to find him a wife. And these girls around here are crazy, man. These girls, I don't want these skank mamas trying to be my son's wife. Man, don't let him marry any of these women. You know what? He needs to find a daughter from my people. So then Isaac says, yes, oh man, that's a good, Jacob. And so he calls Jacob and is like, boy, you need to leave here. You need to go and find you. We're going to send you away to marry your cousin. And so long story short, Rebecca gets Isaac to send Jacob away. And so now we enter into the narrative right here where it begins with chapter 32 and verse 1. So Jacob went on his way, and notice one of the first things that happens is that the angels of the Most High meet him. Now, understand that when Jacob was leaving to find Rachel and to find Laban and to find, that part of the household, he stumbled upon Bethel. That's going to come back into play. Remember when he went to sleep and he saw the Malachim, the angels ascending and descending, right? And he says, man, I didn't even know that this place had God in it, which is really more akin to what the Hebrew is saying. It's more accurate to what the Hebrew is saying. He didn't say like the Most High stopped here and visited. He's like, no, I didn't know that this place had God in it. So he's like, man, he built a pillar, anointed it with oil, and he called the name of it Bethel. But something else is very important and significant, because Yaakov said something to the Most High in that moment and in that place. Now, listen, if it were you and I believe that we would respond differently, but not Yaakov, not him. If you saw the Most High and he revealed himself to you and you saw angels ascending and descending, we'd be like, oh man, I'm yours. What do you want me to do? But not Jacob. Jacob was like, I know I saw that. But if you bless me and if you show enough, let me hit the lottery. If you show enough, bless me and give me food, raiment, clothes, set me up with a nice fat bank account. Get me a few camels. I want that more modern version. If you hook me up like that, then you gonna be my God. And so he makes this, he makes this covenant with the Most High. He makes this agreement with the Most High. And then, of course, as last week, we know that he went all through this Laban issue. And see, we can find out the way that the Most High moves, and even watching how Jacob, who was the trickster, he goes to Laban, who was the master of trickery, and tricked him and got 14 years for a cross-eyed daughter, or we don't know if she was cross-eyed or if she was just as ugly as a booger wolf. We have no idea. All we know is Rachel was the famed, more beautiful woman, and so Rachel was the one everybody was, ooh, did you see Rachel? Ooh, did you see what Rachel had on? Oh man, Rachel, man, did you see Rachel's hair? Man, Rachel was smelling good. Man, Rachel be looking good. Man, Rachel be, everybody was just, oh, Rachel. Well, Jacob saw Rachel and he fell in love with her. But Laban tricked Jacob. Laban tricked the trickster. Okay, high fives for Laban. Laban tricked the trickster. Now, what is the Most High doing here? You'll notice a pattern with the Most High, that when a person seems to like a thing, the Most High will say, okay, you don't want to obey me, you really like that, then I'm going to give you your full of it. I'm going to give you so much of it. Think about it for a second. When the children of Israel were in the wilderness, okay, they said, man, we want some meat. They got to thinking about, man, when we was in Egypt, man, we had onions and Big Macs. Man, we had all kind of meats and stuff. And the Most High was like, I'm taking care of you. Like, man, I wish you was back, man. I wish you was back there, man. We could get fries and every minute. I used to get the Biggie fries. Man, I used to The Most High was like, okay, you want some meat, right? You want some meat. So he said, okay, quail. He hooked it up for them to get quail. And he said that you're going to eat so much of this until it's going to, and in fact it did. It came out of their nostrils. He gave them so much of it. And of course, they began to be dealt with by the Most High. You want to go after other cultures, Israel? You want to be like other people? Okay, you go into exile, and I'm going to give you so much of these people that's going to dog you out. By the time they get done with you, you're going to wish I drop kicked you back into Israel. Well, this is the way that the Most High does. He gives you, if you seem like you want that, he'll give you so much of that until, it's something that you will never ever want. You will want to come back to him, and that's how he moves. Well, now we find Jacob having been tricked by Laban. Oh, you want to be a trickster, huh? Oh, you want to be slick, huh? Oh, you think you got plans? You think you got some trickery up in you, huh? Okay, then I'm gonna let you spend 20 years with this one cat that is going to trick you out of everything. And so here we are with Jacob now having been dealt with by Laban, and he is so full, but you know what? He's not full enough yet. Jacob is not done yet. Jacob still has a little bit of trickery in him. And so in chapter 32, let's get back into it and notice what we read. Jacob went on his way, and the angels of Elohim met him. The angels of Elohim met him. Now please note this, because what we're finding here is that this is, once again, this is going to come into play, and it's going to be very significant. And when Yaakov saw them, he said, this is God's host. This is God's host, his army, right here on earth, and these are Malakim right here. And he called the name of the place Machanaim, okay, which means twin camps or double camps or two camps. Okay, so what is he saying here? Well, he's saying something very important. You notice he is still remembering Bethel, where he saw the angels ascending and descending. And now he says, I'm seeing these angels here. And he says, it's like they are also a camp, just like that other group of angels that I saw. And this was apparently more than one Malakim. This was an encampment of Malakim. And so here, Jacob is witnessing that this is a camp of angels that are right here that I'm running into, and it's just like the other camp that I saw in the dream. So he says two camps. There are two camps, and in this, Yaakov discovers something that is mentioned today as above, so below. As below, so above. And so he's witnessing the Malakim, their stationing, their encampment, which is why when you take a look at the so-called Jacob's ladder, it's not a real ladder, it's an encampment. There were different plateaus, different striations of pavement, if you will, or land. Excuse me. And so this is what basically Jacob saw, the encampment of the Malakim. He saw them in their stations, okay, going all the way up in power, and if you want to say vibration, whatever, going all the way up to the Most High, where he actually was seen by the Most High, and the Most High spoke to him. Well, now he's saying, man, this is a camp just like that camp, and this is Elohim's camp, and this is his host. I mean, the Malakim are here too. Surely the Lord, the Most High, he is ruler of heaven and earth. He's got an encampment here and he's got an encampment there. So he called it Machanaim. And the construction of this word Machanaim, it is much like Hebrew does when it mentions, like Asrei 10, Asraim. 20 is basically double 10. It's kind of like that same convention. The way that you say 20 in Hebrew is basically you're using this same convention and you're pluralizing 10 and making it double. That's the understanding, that 10 is said to be 20, but you say tens, literally you're saying tens, and it really means 20 in Hebrew because of that construction. But we find the same thing with this word here, machanayim, the word for encamp or to camp. The im on the end of this is that pluralization, meaning that you've got twin camps. You've got two just like the other. One just like the other. And so it says, and Jacob sent messengers before him to Esau his brother unto the land of Seir, okay, the country of Edom, and he commanded them, saying, thus shall ye speak unto my lord Esau. Now the trickster is popping his head up even already, because why do we say this? Why do we say this of him? Well, Yaakov knows that he's about to meet his brother, and so he's practicing, but he's firmly tucking his tail between his legs, and he's now calling Esau his lord, when he knows good and well the reason that he stole the blessing in the first place was so that he could lord over his brother, and that his brother and his people would serve him. And we find Esau being more noble and abiding by the blessing more so than Yaakov. But here we find where, and we'll explain that just a little bit later, but we find here where he says, look, I need you to go out and find Esau, and when you do, I want you to speak to him like this and say, my lord, I'm really honoring you, you the big dog. Yeah, Esau, you big dog. So I'm honoring you, and say, thy servant Jacob saith. Now, Jacob knew good and well that he was not the servant to his brother Esau. In fact, he got the blessing. It's really reversed. Jacob is the one that is the Lord, and Esau is the one that is the servant. But Esau abides by this, when Yaakov seemingly is just, he's so busy tucking his tail firmly between his legs because he doesn't want to get shish kebabbed by his brother. He's making sure that he just, really kisses up to his brother. I mean, he is bruising his brother's behind for the way that he's kissing his behind here. He says, I have sojourned with Laban, and now he's about to tell him his own story. Maybe I can get some sympathy from you. I have sojourned with Laban and stayed there until now, and I have oxen and asses and flocks and men servants and women servants, and I have sent to tell my Lord. I sent to tell to see you Esau, you man, I had to give you respect, man. You big dog. Yeah, I had to tell my Lord because really, I'm trying to find grace in your sight, man. If I could just, I mean, Jacob is cheesing so hard, and he is just, oh my goodness, it is just unbelievable how the trickster is really trying to put on the face, and I believe that he is really scared here. Jacob is really scared for his life. That's why he is tucking his tail firmly between his legs. If not, okay, let me not say that. But anyway, he's tucking his tail firmly between his legs. And so we see here in the scriptures, it says, and when he sends these messengers out, the messenger said, look, we did see your brother, dude. And it was kind of funny is they told him something that he did not want to hear. By the time these messengers got done talking to Jacob, his stomach hit his ankles. His stomach, oh man, his stomach must have dropped 2 miles. So here we find where he says, and the messengers returned to Jacob, and they said, yeah, we saw dude. Yeah, we came up to him. We saw him. Yeah, man, dude. We came to him, and man, he looking all big and strong. Man, Esau looked like he been working out. Yep, Esau, man, I ain't never seen nobody that big with all them muscles. And oh, by the way, he told Jacob, oh, by the way, he said he's coming over here to meet you, and he got 400 dudes with him. He got 4. So they got done talking to Jacob, and right here in verse number 6 is where his stomach drops to his ankles. right here, he says, and 400 men are with him. Right here. And look at verse number 7. Then Yaakov was greatly afraid and distressed. Oh, why did they tell him that? They told him that Esau, and he knew he did Esau wrong. He knew he did him wrong. And now Esau's coming with 400 of his boys. Oh my goodness. So as he's coming with 400 of his boys, Jacob got messed up. I imagine Jacob couldn't eat. Jacob all upset. Oh Lord, upset. Got the bubble guts now. Oh man, I'm so upset. Esau gonna get me. He gonna get me for what I did to him. Well, we notice here, Jacob was afraid and he divided the people. Now notice the trickster at work. Now listen, I gotta say, if you thought that him stripping the poplar rods and putting spotted things in front of the, the herds was something, this is his dirtiest dirt right here. What he's about to do is his dirtiest dirt, okay? And so what is his dirtiest dirt? You don't find out till later what he's really doing, but here in verse number 7 it mentions, and he divided the people that was with him and the flocks and the herds and the camels into 2 bands. Okay? Now, at face value, you would think that the whole 2 camps thing is really about how much Jacob has prospered. Okay? But we're going to see here that Jacob actually divides everything into 4s. Then Jacob was greatly distressed, right? And notice what he's doing here. He said that he's going to divide. He's dividing them up in verse number 8. And Esau says, Jacob said, if Esau comes to one company and smite it, in other words, what I'm going to do, see, I'm going to put one of my wives way up in front. One of them that, one of them that, I slept with him and stuff, but I'm that wife that was given to me like secondhand. I'm put one of them up there, right? Either Bilhah or Silpah. I'm going to put one of them up there. And so if Esau gonna fight, he gonna kill them first. This is some of the dirtiest dirt that Yaakov does. Okay, he still has some trickster in him. He still has some of that in him. And we'll be right back. And so here Jacob is. He's doing some of his dirtiest dirt right here, and he's going to actually use his wife and his children as human shields to shield him from Esau. He is so afraid of getting shish kebabbed that he's like, let me do this. And by the way, this is the same kind of stuff. Well, even though it was slightly different, but when David HaMelech, when David took dude's wife and then put him at the forefront of the battle and said, y'all get him out there in front, and then y'all just do the moonwalk and just leave him out there. And of course we know what happened to him. He died. Well, Jacob right here is like, man, I'm going to put my, one of my secondary wives out there, I don't know if he had numbers on their back or what, like your wife number 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, he sent them out there, right? And he actually said, well, if Esau come to the company and smite it, basically they're going to die first. And I ain't really worried about, it's dirty to say the least. And Jacob said, oh God, now he going to pray, oh God of my father and God of my father Isaac. And here he still does not claim the Most High to be his specifically. O God of my father Abraham, O God of my father Isaac, The Lord which said to me, return unto my country, unto thy kindred. In other words, I mean, it's still not proven that you really, I don't know. I'm not completely sold yet. I told you to bless me, and yeah, you bless me, but I'm not ready to sign on the dotted line yet. And this comes back into the narrative, and it is even a reminder, okay? It is a reminder. In fact, let me even tell you this. In the 32nd chapter here, in the first verse, I want you to notice something, that when Jacob saw the host of the Most High, okay, he saw them, and we're going to find out here that Jacob is going to meet up with angels again, but they're trying to remind him of the oath that he made to the Most High at Bethel. And it's like, remember, you said blessing, remember, you said blessing, you said that he would be your God, remember. And it's like Jacob doesn't get it yet. Jacob's like, I'm not ready to sign on the dotted line yet, right? So now he starts praying after he's going to use his wife and children as a human shield. And he says, "O God of my father, O God of Isaac, the one who said to me, return back to my people." It says, I am not worthy of the least of all the mercies and of all the truth which you have shown me unto your servant. For with my staff I passed over this Jordan, and now I am become two bands. I got so much, I'm so blessed. Like one guy said, they said, "How you doing?" He said, "Man, I'm so blessed. If I was any more blessed, I'd be two people." Well, that's kind of what Jacob is saying. Man, I'm two bands. I'm so blessed until I am enough to be two different bands. Deliver me, I pray thee, from the hand of my brother and from the hand of Esau, for I fear him. I am so afraid of him. Jacob was like, man, I'm so afraid of him. I know he got arms like tree trunks. I'm afraid of dude because I know I made dude mad. Okay? Lest he come and smite me and the mother of my children. Now notice he says, unless he come and smite me. He put himself first. Right? He put himself first. I don't want him to hurt me. And also, the mother and, but I don't want him to hurt me. So once again, he's thinking very selfishly. Let's continue. And thou saidest, I will surely do thee good and make thy seed as the sand of the sea, which cannot be numbered for multitude. And he lodged there the same night and took of that which came to his hand a present for his brother Esau. Now notice what he did. 200 she-goats and 20 he-goats and 200 ewes, female sheep, and 20 rams, 30 milk cows with their colts, 40 kine, 10 basically he laid him out. He's like, look, dude, I got so much, I'm about to set you up. Now this would be worth some big money today, right? And he delivered them unto the hand of his servant, and drove by them, and said unto his servant, pass over before me, and put a space between drove and drove. So he's setting the mother of his children and the children that were born by that mother way out in front, and then he's got a gap, and then he's going to have another one, and then he's going to have another gap, and then another group of people. I mean, this is the way Jacob is trying to do this, and it is just unbelievable. Okay? So we see here in verse number 17, he is setting it up to protect himself. And notice what it says here. And he commanded the foremost, saying, when Esau my brother meet thee, because if we gonna get it, you gonna get it first. And ask thee, saying, whose art thou? And just tell him, hey, they be thy servant Jacob's. Yeah, your servant. It is a present unto you, my lord Esau. Don't shish kebab me. And notice what he's saying here. And so he commanded the second and the third, and all that followed the droves, saying, on this manner shall you speak to Esau when ye find him. Okay? So this is what you're going to say to Esau when you find him, because I don't want him to kill us, right? But mainly me. I don't want him to kill me. But I don't want him to kill y'all either. I don't really want nothing to happen to y'all either. But I'm just saying. Well, notice verse number 20. And say ye moreover, behold, thy servant Jacob is behind us, for he said, I will appease him with the present that goeth before me, and afterward I will see his face, peradventure he will accept me. Now, there's a lot of parallel language here that we're going to talk about in just a little bit, where Jacob talks about seeing the face of Esau, right? That's going to come into play a little bit later. Let's continue. Verse 21. So went the present over before him, and himself lodged that night, okay, in the company. And he arose up at that night and took his 2 wives and his 2 women servants and his 11 sons and passed over the fork Yabak. And he took them and sent them over the brook and sent over that he had. And Yaakov was left alone, and there wrestled a man with him until the break of day. This is very interesting because scholars and theologians alike have all been trying to figure out, well, who is this cat that Jacob is wrestling with? Now, let me cut to the chase. This is not God. Because there's no way that you're going to wrestle with the Most High and you're going to beat him. Please. I mean, let's get serious here. But what this has evidence of is that this is what the ancients would have called a night spirit. A night spirit, a angel that basically does his work during the night. Okay, there are other night angels that you've heard of but didn't know that they were night angels, and so this is deemed to be one of them who has to keep his name secret and that is not allowed to be in active duty when the sun arises. Now, I know that to many this is like, oh, that sounds like folklore, that sounds like, whatever. But I mean, again, these are the thoughts of the ancients. This is what the ancients believed. And so we're entering into their worldview and not trying to bring them into ours. So if you notice here, basically, when Jacob was left alone, he was wrestling with the man, okay, until the break of day. And when he saw that he prevailed not against him, he touched the hollow of his thigh. Now, some people say, well, he hit Jacob so hard on the leg until he just knocked his, man, he knocked the whole hip out of joint. No, that is not what happened. This was actually proof of this being a supernatural being, because in the Hebrew, the inference is that this was nothing more than a touch. If anything, this was a slight touch with a slight bit of pressure, but it had the miraculous effect of causing his joint to be his hip joint to be out of socket, okay? And he was not able to put it back in place. And so now the trickster, who, by the way, Rashi says that basically it's interesting that you have Yaakov, whose name could mean crooked, or one who deals crookedly, one who is deceptive, one who is crooked. Now he's walking crookedly because now he has experience physical manifestation for what's in his heart. Again, we find the lessons here where Jacob learns as above, so below, and also as within, as without. So now Jacob is halting, okay? In other words, he is limping very badly. And I've had someone to say, well, see, that's why we don't eat chicken thighs. We don't eat chicken thighs because, because it is. Well, no, this has nothing to do with the chicken thigh, though the thigh is mentioned. It's talking about the sinew and the connection, which has nothing to do with the actual thigh itself. It has more to do with the sinew, or what we would call cartilage, okay? What we would call cartilage. And not just the cartilage itself, but also the tendons as well. People of other cultures eat tendons and they eat the cartilage, okay? We here in America, not many of us do, unless you're from the South. Some people from the South, they do eat the cartilage and they do eat the tendons. Well, they say, hey, we will not eat that piece of tendon, okay? We won't eat that piece of cartilage because of this that happened. Again, our people, they were very sentimental. They were very given, they really were very thoughtful, and they love to establish memorials and traditions based upon history. And so this is what we have in the cultural history of the family. So they don't eat the tendon of the cartilage around the thigh, okay, because of this. And he said, let me go for daybreaks. And he said, in other words, I got to get out of here by daybreak, dude. I ain't supposed to be around when the sun come up, okay? And he said, I will not let you go except you bless me. And he said unto him, what is your name? And he said, Yaakov. And he said, your name shall no more be called Jacob, but Israel. For as a prince hast thou power with God and with men, and hast prevailed. So here, basically, Yaakov did wrestle with an angel. We find in the Psalms this, that this is talking about an angel. And not the Most High himself. But notice the convention here when he says that, well, you have power with Elohim. This is to be understood that he has power in Elohim, or because of Elohim, not against Elohim, okay? And he has prevailed. In other words, you have the strength to prevail. And so Jacob asked him and said, tell me, I pray thee, thy name. And he says, dude, why in the frog legs do you want to know my name? My name is not important, dude. Don't even, I know what you're trying to do, but you ain't going to call my name and have me all hemmed up in some stuff. I'm not going to do it. So he says, hey, you don't need to know my name. But he did bless him, right? And Jacob called the name of the place Peniel, which means the face of God, Peniel, for I have seen God face to face, and my life is preserved. Now, in this convention where they believe that they have seen God's face, it is not uncommon for individuals to have angelic activity and believe that they have seen the Most High face to face. What is being intimated, what's being said is that, one, they have seen a representative, one who is connected to, and one that bears the authority and the name perhaps of the Most High. And so basically it's like, if, let's say if a star, who's big today? Let's say if Denzel Washington, okay, sent his PA, sent his personal assistant to you and said, Denzel Washington wanted me to come and find you and tell you and talk to you. You'd be like, oh man, Denzel Washington. And so you would really feel honored, okay? And so this is kind of like what they're saying, hey, we've been in the presence of the Most High. Just by means of association, we have been in the presence of the Most High, and my life is preserved. Keep in mind that we're dealing with supernatural beings here, and so they feel like that they were going to die. So he says, hey, my life is preserved. I saw them, and I didn't kick the bucket. This is all good. I'm having a very good day. So it reads in verse number 31, and as he passed over Penuel, the sun rose upon him, and he halted upon his thigh. Therefore, the children of Israel eat not the sinew which shrank. Okay, again, his thigh didn't shrink, but again, we're talking about the cartilage, okay, which is upon the hollow of the thigh unto this day, because he touched the hollow of Jacob's thigh in the sinew that shrank, okay. Chapter 33, verse 1, and Jacob lifted up his eyes and looked, and behold, Esau came, and with him 400 men. Now, someone might surmise that one reason why Esau did not give Jacob a beat down, because you notice, the angel blessed him, right? We never hear what the exact blessing was, right? Other than the name change. Okay, but it does mention separately that he blessed him aside from his name being changed. And we're going to see later that the Most High actually formally changes the name of Yaakov to Israel. But let's continue, because you notice here, now Yaakov is limping. And so maybe this is part of the reason why Esau didn't give him a beat down, because he's like, oh man, dude already crept up, so I'm not going to worry about that. I'm not going to worry about, maybe I'm feeling sorry for him. And notice what happens here in verse number 1. And he divided the children unto Leah and unto Rachel, and unto the 2 handmaidens. And he put the handmaidens and their children foremost. In other words, he put Zilpah and Bilhah and their children way up ahead of everybody else. And Leah and her children after them. And Rachel and Joseph behind him. So he had Bilhah and the children, and then he had Zilpah and the children, then he had Leah and the children, then he had himself, then he had Rachel and Joseph behind him. He's like, look, if I got to die for anybody, I'm actually be noble, and I'm gonna fight for this wife, them other 3 wives, and all them other children. Well, so here we find that he also is trying to make sure that he doesn't get a beat down. He passed over before them, and he bowed himself to the ground 7 times until he came near to his brother. He wanted to make sure that Esau knew, hey, I'm really kissing up to you. I'm really gonna just honor you. I'm calling you my Lord. He is really pouring it on heavy. He's really pouring it on thick. And Esau ran to meet him and embraced him. Now notice how Esau is more so following the very spirit, okay, of the blessing rather than Yaakov. Jacob is still full of trickery. And Esau ran to meet him and embraced him and fell on his neck and kissed him. And they wept. Now, Esau was probably weeping because, man, I'm so glad to see you, little brother. I'm so glad to see you, my brother. Right? Jacob was like, oh, probably weeping because, man, I can't believe, man, he ain't going to kill me. Well, verse number 5. Verse number 5, and he lifted up his eyes and saw the women and the children and said, who are these with thee? And he said, man, these are my baby mamas, the children which God hath graciously given unto thy servant, that I was about to use as a human shield, because I thought you were going to shish kebab me. Then the handmaidens came near, they and their children, acting like they didn't know what was going on, and they bowed themselves, and Leah also with their children came near and bowed down themselves. And after that Joseph and Rachel came near, and they bowed down themselves. Now, this does not mean that they were looking upon Esau as God, or just because you bow down to someone, that means that you're worshiping them as if they're God. No, this is just the honor and the respect that they had for one another back in the day that we also need today. And so with that being the case, man, I better keep this tea handy. Talking so much here, but here we go. So we need this kind of honor today where we greet each other. Now, this is his brother, but he's bowing down to his brother. Now, keep in mind that these 2 brothers, they were at each other's throats, right? They really didn't like each other. And that's the way it is in the home sometimes. When children are younger, parents, you know what I'm talking about. When children are younger, they can be at each other's throats. But as they grow older, they become the best of friends and they begin to understand each other more and more. And that's even what we see here. So if you're a kid, don't trip how your little brother or little sister's acting, right? Love them. You're going to be the best of friends. And he said, you know, what are you doing with all this stuff, man? You got all these sheep and camels and all this stuff out here. Okay. And he said, you know, I'm giving them to you so that I can find grace in my Lord's sight. I mean, Jacob is still not being authentic. He's not being real. He is just afraid, and he's trying to do whatever he feels he needs to do to alleviate that fear and to save his life. He is still not being authentic. He's still not being real. He's still putting on this facade. He's still playing this role. And Esau said, look, dude, I got enough, man. Fall up off me. I got enough. Okay, you keep that stuff for yourself. I'm good. Okay, I got mine. And Jacob said, no, I pray thee. You know, I need to really give you this because I don't want you to change your mind and then come and try to shish kebab me. So he really pressed him to take. He really pressed him to take all that stuff that he was giving him. So he said, take, I pray thee, my blessing that is brought for thee, because God had dealt graciously with me, and because I have enough. And he urged him, and he took it. Okay. But the bottom line of it is, really, Jacob did not want Esau to walk away empty-handed, okay, and then think, man, I ought to kill my brother for what he did to me. So he's really still trying to get on this good side. And he said, let us take our journey, let us go. See, Esau is like, man, look, dude, we good. Come on, let's go, and I will go before you. And he said unto him, this is Jacob talking because we know the language. My Lord knoweth. He is still playing these games. He's still playing this role. My Lord knoweth that the children are tender, and that the flocks and herds with their young are with me. And if men should overdrive them one day, all the flock will die. So, and see, out of this, basically Jacob is still in fear. Okay, Jacob is still in fear. If he's like, you see, they so tender until, I don't want to make them go too much. Well, you didn't say that when you were pushing them out in front of you to make sure that Esau, got to dealing with them first, right? You didn't say that before. Now you're like, I don't want them to, be hurt. I don't want them to. No, you playing games. The trickster is still playing tricks. Okay. And he said, so let my Lord, I pray thee, pass over before his servant, and I will lead on softly. In other words, dude, I just need you to get away from me, go on ahead of me, because I don't want you to change your mind. I'm still nervous about all this. You might try to kill me in my sleep, dude. I don't know. Okay, because I know I did you dirty. And see, this is why you don't need to be full of tricks. Because you got to watch your back. You done somebody wrong, and now you got to... He can't even enjoy his brother and reminisce about the good old days because he's too busy worrying that Esau is going to kill him. So now he's separating himself from him and want Esau to go, go on ahead of me. and I'm going to just be walking slow behind you and stuff. Well, and Esau said, let me now leave. Okay. Let me now leave with these, some of the folk that are with me. And he said, what need, why you got to do that? I mean, why you got to leave some of your people? Now Jacob is probably thinking he probably going to tell his boys. See, he probably leave about 11 or 12 of them dudes, or maybe even 100 of that 400, and be like, y'all make sure y'all getting. Y'all make sure y'all getting. And so Jacob is again afraid. He's like, man, why do you need to do that? Let me find grace in the sight of my Lord. Like, in other words, just, you ain't even gotta bother, So Esau returned that day on his way to Seir, and Jacob sojourned, Jacob journeyed to Succoth, and he built him an house and made booths for his cattle, and therefore the name of the place was called Succoth. Well, that sounds familiar, doesn't it? Okay. And Jacob came to Shalem, a city of Shechem, which is in the land of Canaan, when he came from Padan Aram and pitched his tent before the city. And he bought a parcel of land there. Okay, he bought it for some money from Hamor, Shechem's father, for 100 pieces of money. I believe this to be silver. He bought it for, let's say, like 100 pieces of silver. And he erected there an altar and called it El Elohe Israel. Now Jacob may be learning. Now Jacob may be understanding. Now Jacob may be ready to embrace the Most High and call him his God. And this is the first sign that we see that Jacob is really starting to make a deep change. Okay. But here's the thing, Jacob he comes from a group of deceptive people. He's deceptive. And so what do you think he's given birth to, right? Well, we look here, chapter 34, notice what it reads. And Dinah, the daughter, the only daughter that he had by Leah or anyone else, but Dinah's definitely his only daughter, which she bare unto Jacob, went out to see the daughters of the land. Let me go see what the girls around here be doing and what they be, Let me see where they at. Where's the mall? So Dinah was trying to get to the mall to see where some of the other girls were shopping and what they were doing. And when Shechem, the son of Hamor, the Hivite, prince of the country, saw her, he took her and he laid with her, and he defiled her. And his soul clave unto Dinah. And by the way, this is where they get the idea of a soul tie, like your souls are knit together, your souls are tied together, because you just in your flesh, and your flesh is... Well, this is where they get that from. His soul clave unto Dinah, the daughter of Yaakov, and he loved the damsel. Okay, she was a young woman. Okay, the damsel, she was of marriageable age, and he spake kindly unto the damsel. Okay, and Shechem spake unto his father Hamor, saying, man, you got to get her for me. You got to get her for me. I mean, she is a body baddie. She is the one that I took one look at her. And Jacob heard that he had defiled Dinah, his daughter. Now his sons were with his cattle in the field, and Jacob held his peace until they were come. Okay, Jacob's starting to show just a little bit of a change here. And Hamor, the father of Shechem, went out unto Jacob to commune with him. Okay, excuse me. And the sons of Jacob came out of the field when they heard it, and the men were grieved. Man, they were messed up. They're like, man, we got to get them. Because they didn't like the fact that this guy laid with their sister. Okay. And notice what we read here. And Hamor and Hamor communed with them, saying, the soul, look, my boy got a love Jones for your daughter. Okay. He really do got to love Jones for your daughter. She got his nose wide open, like the old folks used to say. And, you know, look, we want to basically make it okay for them to, you know, for them to get married, and also maybe some of your other guys want to hook up with some of our other girls. You know, we can arrange that, okay? We can make that a reality, okay? And you know, and he said, you know, dwell with us in the land, you know, do business with us, trade ye therein, okay? Yeah, go on and do business with us, right? And buy you some stuff, man. I mean, come on, let's live as family. And Shechem said unto her father and unto her brethren, let me find grace in your eyes, and what ye shall say unto me, I'll listen. Whatever bride price I gotta pay, I'm gonna pay it for my boy, because my boy is done. My boy is like, man, I love that girl. Get that girl from me, daddy. Get that girl from me, okay? And he said, ask me whatever kind of bride price you want. Hey, I will do it. Just make sure that you give me that girl to be his wife. Okay. And they said unto him, look, we can't like do it like that. Like we can't just like, you know, it ain't no transaction just like that, because y'all not circumcised. Y'all got to be like us, and y'all got to be circumcised. So that they said, you know what? Okay, I mean, like, all right, let me talk to the other dudes in the city. So he went and talked to them. They all agreed. Okay, look, I mean, kind of old for this kind of surgery, but okay, fine. Okay, we're going to go ahead and we're going to be circumcised. We're going to go ahead and do it, okay? Only herein will the men consent. And so that's exactly what they did. They consented and they were circumcised, right? Give me a second. Be right back. All right, so here we are heading down the home stretch. And it came to pass that on the third day, now they were circumcised, but on that third day, when they were sore, they waited until they got, you know, they started feeling the effects of the circumcision, right? The two sons of Yaakov, Simeon and Levi, Dinah's brethren, each of them, they took a sword, and man, they went through the city and they started killing up everybody, okay? So they start shish kebabbing everybody, killing them because they're mad at what happened. And they slew also Hamor and Shechem, his son, with the edge of the sword, and took Dinah out of Shechem's house and went out the sons of Jacob came upon the slain and spoiled the city because they had defiled their sister. So in other words, we find here that Simon and Levi killed all these dudes. When the brothers came in and found out, they were not like, oh, this is such a tragedy. Why did they do that? Oh, may the Most High forgive us. They're like, no, check for their wallets. Where their wallets? Take all their goods. Take all their sheepses and stuff. And so this is exactly what happened. They looted them and they spoiled the city, took all the good out of it. Okay? And they took their sheep and their oxen and their donkeys and whatever they had in the city. Man, they robbed them clean. And all their wealth, they took all their wealth and all their little ones and their wives they took captives and spoiled even all that was in the house. I mean, if that ain't crazy. Verse number 30. And Jacob said to Simeon and Levi, man, you have troubled me. You made me to stink. We stink in front of these people. You made us, man, you ruined our reputation. Man, y'all make me sick. And he says, among the Canaanites and the Perizzites, and I being few in number, look, they could gather themselves together and they could bump all of us off. And they said, should he deal with our sister as with a harlot? Look, dude, he came to make it right. He's like, marry my, let's get married and all of this stuff. And the men are getting synced. And here's the interesting thing. This is such a huge injustice. You wonder where this is going to come back to bite the perpetrators of this, because now all of the tribes are privy to this. They're a party to this, because rather than they feeling the remorse and being repentant, they're like, no, let's steal their wallets too, and let's take everything else. Okay, they came up with the idea to steal the mamas and the babies and everything. I mean, man, you talk about deep. And they said, he shouldn't have did that to our sister. Okay, so your sister, granted, right, that could have went down differently, but you mean to tell me you're going to slay a whole city for your sister? It is not that deep. It really isn't that deep. Okay. And Elohim said unto Yaakov, arise, go up to Bethel. You need to get up out of here, and you need to dwell there. And there you need to make an altar unto Elohim that appeared unto you when you fled from the face of Esau your brother. In other words, go back to Bethel where you saw the angels ascending and descending. You need to get back there right now. And Jacob said unto his household and to all that were therein, put away the strange gods that are among you and be clean and change your garments. So before, Jacob was letting his family actually worship other gods, right? But now that he's had his moment, he's like, look, I'm going to go ahead and do this thing. Y'all put away them other gods. It's time to get really serious here. So this is Jacob's moment where he says, as for me and my house, okay? In Genesis 35, as for me and my house. So they arrive at Bethel, okay? And we notice here, he tells them, okay, all right, put away your strange gods. And they journeyed. And notice what we read here. And the terror of Elohim was upon the cities that were round about them, and they did not pursue after the sons of Yaakov. In other words, basically, it's like the Most High kind of kept everybody at bay and said, look, don't y'all touch him, right? So Jacob came to Luz. Remember, Bethel had a previous name of Luz, okay, which is in the land of Canaan, that is Bethel, and he and all the people that were with him. Now, here's the interesting thing. It says he and all the people that were with him. So the interesting thing is the people that he got from Esau, They are witnessing this. They're seeing all this, and they're like, man. I mean, like, they have to be shocked at what they're seeing. They have to be shocked at what's going on here, because this is something that is, I'm sure it has not been done that way in their territories. But let's continue. And he built there an altar and called the place El Bethel. Okay, remember before he called Bethel, now he's calling it El Bethel, because there God appeared unto him when he fled from his brother. Okay, so it's like he's doing a redo for that. But notice what we read here in verse number 8. But Deborah, Rebekah's nurse, died. Oh, wait a minute. So Deborah was one of the people that were with him, and Deborah is Rebekah's nurse. Okay, in other words, his daddy's wife's nurse was Deborah, and she was along with them. Okay, and she died, and she was buried beneath Bethel under an oak, and the name of it was called Alon Bachuth. And Elohim appeared unto Jacob again when he came out of Padan Aram and blessed him. And Elohim said unto him, your name is Jacob. Your name shall not any more be Jacob, but Israel shall be thy name. And he called his name Israel. So now we have the formal and the finality of his name being changed. Okay. But notice what is read here, because it was different with Abraham. Remember Abraham? Abraham, he says, your name shall no more be called, Abraham. But here the pronouncement is a little bit different. He said, your name is Jacob. You are Jacob. Okay. You are the trickster, right? But your name shall not be called any more Jacob, but Israel. From that moment forth, with him saying that your name is Jacob and your name is Israel, there was basically this was like a synonymous, you're either Jacob, you're Israel. And the way that I've always thought of it is that when Israel was acting a monkey, they were Jacob, but when they were being noble and righteous and holy, then they were Israel. And so you look at it, you'll find that scripture also tends to lean that way as well. And so he says, you're Israel. And Elohim said unto him, I am God Almighty. Now, where do we see that before? We saw this again with Abraham, and we find an overlap. What the Most High does with one father, we find that repeating, okay? In the Son, that's the chosen one, they will repeat things of the Father from their father. So Abraham, we saw this where the Most High said, I am El Shaddai, walk before me and be thou perfect. Now here in verse 11, he says to Jacob, I am El Shaddai, be fruitful and multiply. A nation and a company of nations shall come forth from you, and kings shall come forth from thy loins. And the land which I gave Abraham and Isaac, to thee I will give it, and to thy seed after thee I will give the land. Verse number 13, and Elohim went up from him in the place where he talked with him. Now, the reason why that is so significant is because this was not in a dream like before at Bethel. Remember, Bethel was the place where Jacob had a dream, but now the Most High says, no, we're not doing a dream this time. I'm really going to appear before you. So he really appears before him. Yaakov calls the place El Bethel. Okay, and so now we see that the Most High really gives him a pronouncement. He formalizes the pronouncement of Israel. And scholars would say, well, you see, this is just a doubling of the story. You had one tradition and they're marrying both of these traditions together. The way that I look at this is I look at this as a formality where it was certain that Yaakov was not wrestling God, okay, but he was wrestling a night spirit, an angel, we could say. And so here it becomes formal, okay? Here it becomes formal. So as we take a look here, And they journeyed from Bethel, and there was but a little way to come to Ephrath. And Rachel travailed, because Rachel was pregnant. Okay, she's having labor, hard labor. And it came to pass that when she was in hard labor, that the midwife said unto her, hey, don't even be afraid. You're going to have this boy. It's going to be all right. Verse number 18. And it came to pass that as her soul was departing, for she died, that she called his name Ben-Oni. Ben-Oni. But his father called him Benjamin. So his daddy ended up changing his name because of what had happened. Well, he changed his name, and you know, it was a term of endearment because he loved Rachel, and Rachel died and was buried in the way to Ephrath, which is Bethlehem. Now, stop for a minute and just ask yourself a simple question. Remember on last week they were having all these baby battles? Rachel was putting out kids, and I'm sorry, not Rachel. Leah was putting out kids, and then Bilhah put out some kids, and then, Rachel couldn't have any, so, they're going back and forth with all these babies. Now Rachel ends up dying. And you recall the fact that Leah actually wanted her husband to love her. Now think about how much Jacob now feels about Leah, and how much more he's going to miss Rachel, but now there's only Leah. So it's like the one that was hated actually wins the battle. Okay? So Rachel dies, and Jacob in verse 20, he sets up a pillar upon her grave. That is the pillar of Rachel's grave unto this day. And Israel journeyed and spread his tent abroad beyond the tower of Adar. And it came to pass that when Israel dwelt in the land, that Reuben went and lay with Bilhah, his father's concubine. Him and Bilhah got at it, and Israel heard it. But you better believe. See, Jacob learned something. Notice it says, and Israel heard it. So he's being noble, he's being princely, he's being wise. Okay, and he's not going to act like his old self. Now that Israel heard it, he is going to have something to say about it later. And so now the sons of Jacob were 12. I mean, Reuben should have known better, right? The sons of Leah, Reuben, Jacob's firstborn, and Simeon, and Levi, and Judah, and Issachar, and Zebulun, the sons of Rachel, Joseph, and Benjamin, and the sons of Bilhah, Rachel's handmaid, Dan, and Naphtali, and the sons of Zilpah, Leah's maid, Gad, and Asher. These are the sons of Yaakov, which were born to him in Padan Aram. And Jacob came unto his father, I want you to see this, and Jacob came unto Isaac his father, unto Mamre, unto the city of Arba, which is Hebron, and where Abraham and Isaac sojourned, and the days of Isaac were 180 years. In other words, 180 years old. And Isaac gave up the ghost and died, and was gathered unto his people, being old and full of days, and his sons Esau and Jacob buried him. You notice here that they got together. They were not estranged. They got together and they buried him. But what we would see that one of the sons of Esau, one of the sons, Amalek, which was what you're going to find in this next chapter, is that he is the duke, if you will. He is the chieftain of the Amalekites, which are those that persecuted Israel and those that the Most High had a problem with, because there were many people of the Edomites that basically Israel didn't have a problem with. It's those Amalekites and a few others that they really did have a problem with, because they just didn't know how to get along. And so we find that to be true. Now, this is the last chapter of the Torah portion. I'm not going to read it all because we have a lot of begots and this, that, and the other. Okay, but we get into the generations of Esau, who is Edom. This is one of the most important things that we find in this particular chapter, Genesis 36, where we find that, yes, it is Esau that is Edom, but also we find a little bit about Esau's disposition, because he took daughters from Canaan, and this was, again, a part of the manipulation of his mother, Rebekah. And so we find that with what had happened, Esau went ahead. Esau was angry. Esau was upset, and he went ahead and he took wives from Canaan. Okay. And so we begin to see here the lineage, okay, and the people. And notice what we see here when it comes to Esau. And Esau took his wives and his sons and his daughters and all the persons of his house and his cattle and all the beasts and all his substance which he had got in the land of Canaan, and went into the far country from the face of his brother Jacob. Why? Because Jacob has the blessing, okay, and Esau, once again, is favoring the blessing and cooperating with the blessing. So he's going to go to another place because his brother Jacob wants Canaan, okay? For their riches were more than that they might dwell together, and the land wherein they were strangers could not bear them because of their cattle. Thus dwelt Esau in Mount Seir. Esau is Edom, and these are the generations of Esau, the father of the Edomites, in Mount Seir. And it goes through, right? It goes through, and we find, yes, there is Amalek a little bit further down. There's Amalek. And we have here all of those who are of the lineage of Esau. Okay. Now, chapter 36 comes into greater prominence when you begin to understand the Edomites and who they are. Okay. But suffice it to say that the Edomites themselves, they will be something to discuss a little bit later. I'm just going to give you this last sentence here of the chapter, and we're going to end our Torah portion for the day. Notice what it reads here. It says, Duke Magdiel, okay, Duke Iram, these be the dukes of Edom, according to their habitations, in the land of their possession. So they took Seir for a possession, and they completely forsook Canaan. Okay, he is Esau, the father of the Edomites, and it really makes that plain. Well, my brothers and sisters, this has been a very interesting, once again, a Torah portion that's very interesting for us. And it shows us a number of different things. It shows us that, you know, whatever you're into, if you don't obey the Most High, he will make sure that that thing consumes you. If you want something, okay, you have to be careful what you ask for. You really have to be careful what you ask for. Jacob wanted the blessing, but we find here that the blessing drove him away from his home. Basically, him being a trickster drove him away from his home, and he ended up jumping out of the frying pan and into the fryer, and the Most High made sure that he got enough of being a trickster. And we find where Jacob finally comes out and away from that mindset of being a trickster, trying to get ahead, trying to use others. I mean, we find him finally getting out of that, and we see where he does claim the Most High as he names the pillar, and as he also cleanses his house from other idols. We find him actually coming and turning to the Most High, and now the Most High can be said to be the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Yaakov. With that being the case, my brothers and sisters, we appreciate you being here for this Torah portion. We will be right back, and we will answer some questions concerning this Torah portion. Be right back. All right, I'm going to tiptoe into the chat room. I'm going to see what you guys may be saying there in the chat room. And let's see, again, hey, peace and blessings to our beloved elder, Christine Croning. Peace and blessings to you. Let's see, did anyone else come in while I was reading the Torah portion? Let's see, my brother Ben Naphtali. Peace and blessings to you, my brother. All right, so hey, let's entertain some questions. Yes, very true. Ben Naphtali says, Esau was also wealthy, but not of the promise. Very true, but he was wealthy. So he had no need of maybe Jacob thought that he was going to be all poor, walking around with holes in his jeans. But no, he's like, look, I'm blessed. I ain't got to worry about that. Okay. It looks like we don't have any questions for the Torah portion. Peace and blessings. Was that Mr. Weeze? Did I see Mr. Weeze? Yeah, hey, peace and blessings to you. Yeah, he wanted Dinah bad. He like, man, probably singing that song, Love Jones, I gotta love Jones. Well, he wanted her real bad. Okay. George Evans, you asked some of the best questions. You do ask some of the good questions. Now, his question is, for those of you that can't see it, peace and blessings to you, Michael Charles Marsh. Glad that you're here, my brother. Did Esau worship Yah? Based upon if you notice, like for instance, if I go back to Genesis 36, look at some of the names. Look at some of the names of his children and look at some of the names. Okay. And basically these are Semitic names. These are Semitic names. Okay. And you will find that these names, let's see here. Oh, you can't see the script. Hold on. I'm going to bring you into the scriptures here in just a second. There we go. So the names of the dukes of the families, okay, we have names that are interlaced, okay. We do find names like this that are Eastern Shemitic. Dijon may or may not have been the inventor of mustard. We don't know. Ha ha ha. But what we do find here is Zibeon. We find other names that are Semitic. We also find other names that may reference Yah to some degree. And I'm looking through the names now. We do know this about the territory where he was. Like, for instance, when you look at one of his sons here, his name is Reuel. Okay. Looking at this in the Hebrew, verse number 17. Okay, Reuel. So, this son of Esau has El in the name. Okay, now we'd have to make a distinction here. It's through later that we find that there is a connection between Yah and El and the Canaanites. Basically, Yahwism was within the Canaanite territory as well. They basically, if you look at territory where Yahwism was in play, it would also include Canaan, which is where Esau was. Looking at just some of the names, we find that El is within some of the names. And we also find where there is just certain hints here and there that lead us to believe that there's a strong possibility. Looking at even Esau's disposition, okay, it's his later descendants that cause, more of the judgment of the Most High. When you read the book of Obadiah, it's like the Edomites, period. They are going to get it. Don't care what they do. Don't care. Because it's like, when you take a look at Esau actually, even though, it says, Jacob have I loved and Esau have I hated. Jacob, maybe Jacob found favor because he desired the birthright. But Esau fell into disfavor because he didn't care about, he was really nonchalant about the birthright. And he was more so like, hey, I don't care about that. It's almost like Esau was more so of like a no frills, no thrills. I'm not in for all that pageantry. I'm not in for all that kind of stuff, though he did want to be blessed. So with that being the case, I would just simply say, we don't know for sure, but I feel like there are hints and there are inferences that he may have had an understanding of the Most High and worshiping the Most High, because again, Canaan was a part of the Yahwistic territory. Okay. Well, thank you, Michael Charles. It does. I see differences when you look at the Hebrew and when you look at what the pathology of Jacob, when you look at what really is on his mind and what he's up to. You see human flaws, true enough, but you also see not just humanity, but you see a pattern. Okay. And you see where, Esau was upset, very mad. He's like, man, I'm gonna get him. You just wait till my daddy die. I'm gonna get him. But we can see here that he demonstrates repentance. Esau demonstrates, look, I'm not on that. I'm not trying to get you, man. I'm not mad at you anymore. In fact, if you look at the last interaction between Esau and Jacob, Esau is acting like he's walking in more love than Jacob. Jacob is the one trying to trick everybody. Jacob's still pulling games and tricks. Oh, my Lord, my Lord. You didn't mean that. You just don't want him to kill you. That's all it is. You just playing games. So, George Evans says, I think that Esau knew about the Most High because Isaac probably talked to him about. I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it. You see, with Esau being the firstborn, I know that Esau would have been the one that Isaac was expecting to carry on the family lineage, which means being the family priest. You see, just like Isaac was able to give the blessing to one of his sons, also the priest of the family would have to be able to do that even in the next generation. So the chosen son, which usually was the firstborn, would be the priest of the household, and that takes training. Remember, train up a child in the way that he is to go, which doesn't mean, make them a Christian when they young and when they old, they ain't gonna get, no, it means enroll your kids into a system of training, a system of apprenticeship, so that when they are older, everything that you've taught them will stick with them and they will be a master at their craft. So yeah. So, okay, Brother Adrian says Esau and Jacob had 12 sons, and actually Isaac did bless Esau as well. True, he did bless him. He really did. But also, too, the difference between Jacob and Esau is that Esau has a wife, Timnah, actually a concubine, Timnah. And for whatever reason, the way that it's presented, it's as if the child that Timnah has, which would have been number 13, is kind of like, maybe that was like a side thing, like that was something that just kind of like happened on the side, like she wasn't a formal wife, like that was a illegitimate child, so to speak. So it really didn't count as like the 13th child or 13th tribe, I should say. But that's a little bit of controversy concerning Esau and his wife Timnah. But at the same time, They were blessed. They had a lot. And you got the feeling of Abraham and Lot kind of with Jacob and Esau, because their stuff was so great that they could not, they couldn't dwell in the same land together. We heard that same language with Lot, okay? We heard that same language with Lot. But out of it, what do we gather from this? Again, as I stated in the beginning, we learn how the Most High deals with us and how the Most High deals with us in covenant. The Most High will give you whatever your obsession is. If you go away from him for something that's your obsession, he is going to be like, look, I'm going to give you so much of that until you're going to hate it. Jacob just seemed like he just couldn't get enough of tricking. Like he couldn't get enough of being a trickster. He was tricking everybody, trying to get what he want. And I think what really hit him hard is when he saw himself in his sons. When he saw himself in his sons and Levi and Simeon and how they tricked all the men of the city, got them to be circumcised, and then turned around and killed them all. I think that was enough for Jacob. I think Jacob saw how ugly and how brutal that lifestyle of trickery and dishonesty and manipulation really is. And I think he was finally done. Which also is a note for parents, because we give our children the potential that they have. And a lot of times our children end up showing us a side of us that we know all too well. And so that's why we have to go to our children and tell them, hey, like me, I had to apologize to my children and said, I know why some of y'all messed up, because when I was young, I brought this into your existence because I had you in a time where I didn't do the inner work. There were things that were unresolved in me when I had you as children. And so, that the potential for you to have a problem with that was also given to you as well, because you were all of my potential and I was dealing with some stuff that was a mess. So naturally it had to show up in you. And so, but hey, here's how I got over it. Here's how I got through it. Okay. And that's the way I think we need to deal with our children. Not just shut up and do as I say. No, we need to have real conversations with our children. Well, thank you, our beloved elder, Christine Croning. Peace and blessings to you. With that being the case, what we're going to do now is we're going to go into our next segment, and we will be right back.
Makes you laugh.
Well, normally I bring you stuff that's crazy, with something that a pastor's done or that people have done in church. But hey, this is crazy stuff because people think that they're actually seeing angels out in the open. And so here we go. It's something that I think is just a little crazy. Now, the interesting thing about this is what seems to be really authentic is that the cars are stopping because something did happen. She's responding because if you were moved that fast, then you would react. Your body would react in a certain way. And so there is a level of authenticity that seems to be a part of this. Harry Potter, is that you? Harry Potter. That's what this music sounds like to me. Is that Hogwarts? I mean, was that a broom? No, that wasn't a broom. Superman. Now this, I believe this to be so fake, it's not even funny. I mean, the first two, I mean, yeah, you know, it seems to have a greater level of, I don't know, authenticity to the videos themselves, but this, to me, you can tell that looks like it's AI because watch the horn. Wait, so are we looking at nakedness here? I mean, if you notice, the horn seems to have like a little bit of a hook in it, and it rounds off, but then it changes just a little bit. Right about now, it looks round, or like a curve was in it, and then it changes. So, to me, it seems like it's AI to me. I mean, is it me, or does this music kind of remind you of like the Malcolm X movie by Spike Lee? Brother Malcolm. He's ready to see you now. Okay, so what gets me about this, okay, it looks like something is seen. Security comes by. I think that's fake. I think that's definitely fake. Birdman. Harry Potter. Now, I've seen this before. I don't think this is an angel. Now, I saw this before, but someone said, well, this was a spaceship. But then I saw this slow down, and it looks really different. Brother Malcolm. But when she waved her hand, it's like that cart really did move. I don't know about that last one. That last one seems... Now, the interesting thing about this one, this is crazy, but it's like he really does... It's almost like he does walk through. One, you get the reaction from the homeless person that's right there. Also, too, you get the electrical interference, but also, too, the thing about this that I think is most interesting, it's not even this video, but it's the fact that the CI did put out the gateway process and how you're able to actually, they have documents on how to do stuff like this, how to walk through walls. I mean, the CIA, it's actually very, very crazy. But that's why I don't know if some of this stuff is unbelievable or that unbelievable. I mean, if you look at that CIA document, apparently we are capable of doing a whole bunch of things that are literally out of this world as human beings. You see that halo? Now, to me, this definitely looks fake because everyone would be reacting. I mean, you would have such a reaction of people seeing something like this. They'd have their phones out, their cameras out. They'd be like, look, we're going to pray later, but... So some people have said, well, this is an alien abduction. Others have said, well, this was a time traveler. Okay. But if this is supposed to be an angel, I didn't know that angels ride bikes. Is this staged? Brother Malcolm. You have been kept from temptation? But the devil said to joke to the Lord, you remove that hedge away from him, he'll curse you to your face. Your hedge has been removed. But I believe that you will be strong. So wait, did they put shades on the camera? Maybe it's a lightsaber. Luke, I am your father. I didn't see nothing. I saw absolutely nothing. I think that's a reflection in the glass. What's going on behind the person with the camera. This one I saw before. Here comes the little trolley thingy. See, I don't know, these videos strike me with a level of authenticity because it's the reaction of the people. The guy gets out the truck, he's like, I know something happened, like I know I hit something, but then this guy is on the side of the road, and it's just, you know, it's the reactions of the people around that just really sell a certain level of authenticity. If this is a prank, it's, I don't know. I mean, how would you... I don't know. All right, well, you know what? That was just a little crazy. It really was, in a different kind of a way, and we will be right back. I just kind of wanted to see if anyone had anything to say about about those videos. I mean, interesting. Okay, I'm looking at some of your comments. Okay, we're going to go to the next segment. Going to the next segment. Be right back.
It was designed to make you show up again on Monday. You could earn. Nobody tells you this when you start working, but your paycheck was never designed to make you wealthy. It was designed to make you show up again on Monday. You could earn $100,000 a year and still have nothing saved by December. And the worst part is, most people blame themselves for that. They think they're bad with money. They're not. They're playing a game that was built for them to lose. Look at every list of the wealthiest people on the planet. Not a single one of them got there by collecting a bigger paycheck than everyone else. They got there by owning things. Equity in companies, real estate, intellectual property, systems that produce income whether they're awake or asleep. Elon Musk isn't rich because Tesla pays him a great salary. He's rich because he owns a piece of everything Tesla will ever be worth. That's the distinction almost nobody makes early enough. Income is not wealth. Income is what you earn when you show up. Wealth is what earns for you when you don't. And as long as your entire financial life depends on the next deposit from your employer, you're not building anything. You're just maintaining. The real question isn't how do I get a raise? The real question is, what do I own that's working for me right now?
Very good question.
Own skills that people will pay a premium for. Own assets that go up in value while you sleep. Own systems that put money to work without you having to think about it every single day. Because...
Well, let me give you an example of this, brothers and sisters. Let me give you an example of this, fam. I remember having a similar conversation and saying some of these things to some brothers in the hood, right, who were wearing gold chains around their neck, and they had gold fronts in their, in their mouth. They had gold teeth. There's nothing wrong with that. But they could have taken the price that they paid for the gold chain and for the gold fronts in their mouth, and they could have bought an ETF for precious metals and let it compound over time for as much time as they had the gold chains and the gold fronts in their mouth, and it would have increased their net worth. Putting gold chains around your neck and gold teeth in your mouth does not change your net worth. We have to be more strategic, and we've got to think about building wealth and legacy for our families rather than trying to look rich. Poor people would rather look rich than to gain wealth, but the wealthy don't mind looking poor as they continue to increase their wealth. I think there's a lesson in that for all of us.
Until you own something, something owns you. Your landlord owns your housing. The bank owns your car. The credit card company owns your future earnings. That's the cycle. And the only way out is to stop treating your salary like the finish line and start treating it like raw material. Now, here's the problem with most financial advice. It tells you to be more disciplined. Just stop buying lattes. Just say no to things you want. Just try harder. That sounds reasonable until you realize that discipline is a finite resource. Every single day, you're making dozens of small financial decisions. Save or spend. Invest or delay. Cook or order out. That constant decision making drains you, and eventually you slip. Not because you're weak, but because the system you're relying on requires perfection, and humans aren't perfect. Wealthy people figured this out a long time ago. They don't rely on willpower, they rely on structure. They build systems that make the right decision automatically so they never have to wrestle with it in the moment. They set it up once and the machine runs. That's exactly what the 20-60-10-10 framework does. It takes your income, whatever it is, and assigns every dollar a job before you have a chance to waste it. Here's how it works. 20% goes toward growth. That's investments, education, skill building, anything that multiplies your money or your earning power over time. 60% goes to essentials. Rent, food, transportation, insurance, the true non-negotiables of being alive. 10% goes to stability. That's your emergency fund, the financial airbag that protects you when life throws something unexpected at you. And the final 10% is for enjoyment. Guilt-free, no justification needed spending.
I love that. Having money aside where you can be like, look, this is for me to do whatever I want to do with it, and I ain't got to feel guilt behind it. I love it.
On whatever makes you happy. This framework works whether you bring home $2,000 a month or $12,000 a month. The dollar amounts change, but the architecture stays identical. And that's the point. Most people do the opposite of this. They spend first, hope to save something at the end of the month, and never invest at all. This framework flips that sequence entirely. You fund your future first, protect yourself second, handle your necessities third, and enjoy life fourth.
Remember that sequence. That's very important.
It's not about restriction. It's about intention. Let's talk about the 20%, because this is where the real separation happens. This is the money that determines whether you work until you're 70 or whether you have real choices by the time you're 50. The most important principle here is to move this money before you ever see it in your checking account. Automate a transfer the same day your paycheck arrives. If you wait until the end of the month to invest whatever is left over, there will be nothing left over. That's not a guess. That's human nature. We expand our spending to fill whatever is available. The only defense is to remove the money from your reach before your brain can rationalize spending it. And here's something that surprises most people. When you start matters far more than how much you invest. Someone who puts away $400 a month starting at age 25 and stops completely at 35 will likely end up with more money at retirement than someone who starts at 35 and invests $400 every single month for 30 straight years. That's the power of compound growth. Starting small and starting now will always beat waiting to start big later. So where does this 20% actually go? Think of it as a ladder of risk. You start at the bottom where it's safe, and you climb as your confidence and your financial base grow. At the bottom, you have high-yield savings accounts and government bonds. These aren't exciting, but they protect your money while earning more than a standard savings account. Low risk, low return, high liquidity. This is where you learn the habit of putting money to work. Next rung up, broad market index funds and ETFs. This is where the majority of your growth money should live. You're not picking individual winners. You're buying a tiny slice of the entire economy. Historically, the broad U.S. stock market has returned roughly 10% per year on average over long periods. You're not trying to outsmart Wall Street. You're just riding the same wave. But the single highest return investment you can make isn't in the stock market. It's in yourself. Learning a high-value skill like sales, software development, video production, or digital marketing can transform your earning potential almost overnight. A $1,000 online course that helps you land a role paying $15,000 more per year is a 15 times return in year one alone. No index fund on the planet can promise that. From there, you can explore real estate investment trusts, which lets you own a piece of commercial and residential property portfolios without ever dealing with tenants or maintenance. You collect dividends from rental income and benefit from property appreciation, all through a single share you can buy from your phone. Then comes individual stocks, but not gambling on whatever is trending online. You're buying ownership in companies with real revenue, real products, and a real chance of existing 2 decades from now. Think utilities, healthcare, consumer goods, the boring stuff that quietly compounds over years. For those with a strong financial foundation already in place, scalable online businesses and digital products offer enormous upside. Content creation, digital courses, software tools, income that isn't capped by your hours. And finally, alternative assets like cryptocurrency, precious metals, or collectibles. These are high risk, high volatility, and require deep understanding. If you can't clearly explain why something has value, you're not investing, you're gambling. Now, none of this matters if you don't actually execute. And execution doesn't require genius. It requires removing friction. Set up automatic transfers the day your income arrives. Don't wait for motivation. Don't rely on memory. The money should move from your checking account to your investment accounts without you lifting a finger. And transferring isn't enough. Cash sitting idle in a brokerage account does nothing. Set your purchases to trigger automatically too. Income arrives, money moves, assets get bought, all without you making a single decision that month. Then shift your focus to the real accelerator, earning more. Saving an extra 3% isn't going to change your life, but increasing your income by 30 or 50% while keeping the same system in place absolutely will. Negotiate raises, build a side income, invest in skills that command higher pay. A solid system on $4,000 a month is good. That same system on $8,000 a month is transformational. Let's move to the 10% stability fund, because this is the piece most people skip, and it's the reason most people end up in debt. One unexpected car repair, one medical bill, one appliance that dies. Suddenly, 6 months of financial progress gets wiped out by a single event. It's not that people are irresponsible. It's that they have zero margin for error. That's what this fund fixes. It's not an investment. It's not supposed to grow aggressively. It's a financial shock absorber. When the market drops 30% and you need $3,000 for an emergency, you're not forced to sell your investments at a loss. You pull from this fund instead. Here's how to size it. Add up every essential monthly expense: rent, utilities, groceries, insurance, minimum debt payments. Multiply by 5 or 6 months. If your essentials run $2,500 a month, your target is around $12,000 to $15,000. Keep it in a high-yield savings account where you can access it instantly with zero risk. Many accounts are paying 4 to 5% right now, which at least keeps your money from losing value to inflation. Build it slowly if you need to. Even $100 a month gets you there eventually. But the critical rule is this: the moment you use any of it, you prioritize refilling it before anything else. Treat it like a debt to yourself that must be repaid first. Now let's talk about the 60%, because this is where most people quietly destroy their financial future without realizing it. They get a promotion and immediately sign a lease on a nicer apartment. They finance a new car because they feel like they've earned it. Income rises, spending rises, and somehow they're still anxious about money. That's lifestyle inflation, and it is the silent killer of wealth. Looking wealthy and actually being wealthy are two completely different things. The person leasing a luxury sedan with $300 in savings isn't winning. They're performing. And that performance has a cost. The 60% rule forces you to define what's truly essential: housing, food, transportation, utilities, insurance. That's the list. Everything else is a want dressed up as a need. If you earn $5,000 a month, your essentials budget is $3,000. If rent alone takes $1,800 and your car payment takes $500, you've already burned through 77% of that budget before groceries, before utilities, before insurance. You're not building wealth at that point. You're financing a lifestyle. The two biggest traps are housing and transportation. People stretch for the maximum mortgage a bank will approve, then wonder why they can't save. They finance vehicles they can't truly afford because the monthly payment feels manageable, until they're locked into it for 6 years. A $400 monthly car payment over 10 years adds up to $48,000. If you had invested that same money at an average 8% return, you'd have roughly $73,000. You're not choosing between a nice car and a boring car. You're choosing between a car and financial independence. Buy a reliable used vehicle for a fraction of the price and redirect the difference into your growth fund. That single decision alone can change the trajectory of your entire financial life.
Well, I think we get it. There's much more to this, but I think we get it. I wanted to I'm trying to interject a mindset of wealth whereby you don't live from paycheck to paycheck, but rather you're becoming wealth-minded, wealth-conscious. And so you are able to build a legacy and leave an inheritance for your children. But it begins by you not just making a living from week to week, but by you actually building wealth. So I wanted to introduce and just kind of remind you of those concepts. And again, we'll be right back. Do you remember this guy? This is Joseph Mapongda.
Bounds around them with their heads on the side. You may think that they mean good, but these are wolves in sheepskin. They look innocent, but they eat people. They are the same group of people that approved slave trade and sold countries and killed people and collected plunderage when Africa was being colonized. They have trophies of human heads in their own palaces and in their own Vaticans. Stolen gold and ivory. Yet they walk around and put their arms across and say, God loves you. Forgive those that have done wrong to you. Jesus also is love and he forgives. They may have a problem with religion. Though I'm a qualified graduate in that space. You mean I must forgive? He says, yes, you must forgive. Why must I forgive? Because you must forgive because Jesus also forgives. He says, then how many apples did Adam eat? How many? And God did not forgive. One apple. And you come around and say, I must forgive 70 times 7. Whoa. I learned from God. You eat my fruit. Come on, you eat mine. I'll come in after me. And I find that you have eaten my fruit. My fruit. Read your Bibles. By the end of chapter 3, the owner of the orchard was telling the two thieves who had eaten his fruit, Adam and Eve, get out from here. Outside the garden with an angel who was holding a sword. If they come and get Or don't you?
We know them.
We know the thieves. And they're still loitering around. Forgive. For God forgives. Who told you God forgives? Then why is there hell?
Woo!
Even the devil himself. Why can't God forgive the devil? And then this whole problem of sin stops. No, we can't forgive the devil. But I must forgive Muzungu. No, I learned from God. I learned from my father. If you steal, I chase you away. If you do wrong, I'll burn you in hellfire, just like you burn, like father, like son. How does that look? I think that's justice. For every time we practice mercy and we forget justice, it is evil. There is no justice. Where mercy? So the next group that came here, what exactly are they doing in some certain places? But they eat people. They're cannibals, some of them, in some of the African cultures, you know, that's true. We don't want throwing away good meat, would roast some of it and eat for whatever ceremonies and whatever was happening there. Not that we're eating people every day, but in some communities, human consumption, we are not the only ones, by the way. Do your anthropology, some of these practices are still happening in other parts of the world. Nothing sinister about that.
So Africans, just imagine, to be honest, and this one is in my opinion, prayers and fasting is not going to solve our problems. No, it's not going to do that. So for us to realize our potentials, we as Africans, we have to think without the box. You see, we just have to remove that box to be a point of reference and start thinking straight. And that is what Joshua Maponga is trying to tell us. That religion is trying to confine us into a smaller space that we have to think within what our religion requires.
The next group that came, can all Christians lift up your hands? Don't be embarrassed now. How? Christians, in the mighty name of Jesus, someone say amen out there. Amen. Oh, so there are more than those that lifted their hands. The next group that came after explorers were the missionaries to help manage the anger of the African, to help civilize them, to introduce them better moral principles, telling them what to stop doing so that they can become a civilized society. Tell them to focus on the things that are in the heavens, and they don't need to worry about the things that are on earth. In a little while, Jesus will come back again, and we will have a home beyond the skies. So please don't focus on the things of the world. These things will come to pass, and the word of the Lord will endure forever and ever. Someone say amen out there. And don't worry when they clap you on one cheek. Please give them the other cheek. Forgive and forget. For this you'll have your reward in heaven when Jesus returns again. Can I please have some money out of this?
In one way or another, we are not trying to say that religion is bad. No, that's not the case. We are only trying to demystify what religion does to us. And the problem is, these religions, there are so many, and they are just into African minds. More so Africans who reside in Africa. Because, you see, the problem with the religion, according to me, is there are other religions who think they are better than others. That is my problem with the religion. And when we try to make this thing to be into African minds, in one way or another.
Well, okay. Let me just stop right here and let me just say this real quick. You know that on this channel we don't push religion, we push spirituality, we push the way of life. Okay, the Tanakh gives you a way of life. When did it start? It started with Adam. What was that about? The giving of life, and also giving an understanding of how that life is supposed to blossom, bloom, and how it's supposed to carry forward. That's why we have the Tanakh. It's a way of life, not a religion. The difference between where we are and what we do is that this is not a Sunday morning observation. No, every day of our lives, we walk in the Tanakh and we walk in a way that we please the Most High. That's why there's a certain way that we dress, a certain way that we eat, a certain way that we deal with our finances, because we're seeking to live by the laws, the rules of the Most High. Okay? It's not about religion. It's not about anything other than spirituality and a way of life. Be right back with another segment. How Hebrew are you? Yes, do I know about Edom and the Edomites in the Tanakh? Do I know about Edom and the Edomites in the Tanakh? Question number 1. Which statement best explains why Edom receives repeated judgment language in the prophets? Which statement best explains why Edom receives repeated judgment language in the prophets? Is it A, Edom worships Baal more than the nations around Israel? Or is it B, Edom joined Egypt in enslaving Israel during the Exodus? Or C, Edom acted violently against Judah in a time of calamity and showed covenantal hostility toward a brother nation? Or is it D, Edom was judged primarily because it refused to build the temple? Or E, Edom was condemned because it attempted to replace the Levites? Mr. Weeze weighs in with a B. Michael Charles Marsh weighs in with a C. Mr. Weeze changes it to C. Christine Croning, our elder, weighs in with a B. Ben Naphtali weighs in with a C. Miss H weighs in with a C. George Evans also weighs in with a C. Elimelech weighs in with a C. Peace and blessings to you. I'm glad you're here. Raymond Ratcliffe weighs in with a C. Going once, going twice. And the answer is... The answer is C. The reference comes to us from Obadiah 1 and 10, also Amos 11, 1, 11, and 12, and Ezekiel 35 and 5, and as well Psalms 137 and 7. What does it read? Well, Amos 1, 11, and 12 reads, Thus says Yah, for 3 transgressions of Edom, and for 4, I will not turn away the punishment thereof, because he did pursue his brother with the sword, and did cast off all pity, and his anger did tear perpetually, and he kept his wrath forever. But I will send a fire upon Teman, which shall devour the palaces of Bozrah. Question number 2. In the Tanakh, Edom's relationship to Israel is rooted in which ancestral connection? In the Tanakh, Edom's relationship to Israel is rooted in which ancestral connection? Is it A, Edom descends from Lot through Moab? Or B, Edom descends from Esau, the brother of Jacob? Or C, Edom descends from Ishmael, the brother of Isaac? Or D, Edom descends from Ham through Mitzrayim? Or E, Edom descends from Nimrod through Babel? Michael Charles Marsh weighs in with the B. Yeshaya Israel, peace and blessings to you, my brother. Peace and blessings to you. Glad that you're here. Question number 2. Mr. Weeze weighs in with the B. Yeshaya Israel weighs in with the B as well. George Evans weighs in with the B. Ben Naphtali weighs in with the B. Miss H also weighs in with the B. Going once, going twice. And that's right, the answer is B. In the Tanakh, Edom's relationship to Israel is rooted in which ancestral connection? Yes, this reference comes to us from Deuteronomy 2, verses 4 and 5. And command thou the people, saying, Ye are to pass through the coast of your brethren, the children of Esau, which dwell in Seir, and they shall be afraid of you. Take you good heed unto yourselves, therefore meddle not with them, for I will not give you of their land, no, not so much as a footbreadth, because I have given Mount Seir unto Esau for a possession. Congratulations to those of you that did get the correct answer. Question number 3. Which prophetic book is most directly and almost entirely focused on Edom's judgment? Which prophetic book is most directly and almost entirely focused on Edom's judgment? Is it A, the book of Nahum? Is it B, the book of Obadiah? Is it C, the book of Habakkuk? Is it D, the book of Haggai? Or is it E, the book of Zephaniah? Mr. Weeze is the first to weigh in with a B. Michael Charles Marsh, B. George Evans also weighs in with a B. Our beloved elder weighs in with a B. Elimelech weighs in with a B. Ben Naphtali weighs in with a B. Yeshayahu Yisrael weighs in with a B. Looks like we have a consensus. And the answer is, the answer is B. Obadiah 1, all the way through to verse 21, the vision of Obadiah, thus saith Yah, concerning Edom, we have heard a rumor from Yah, and an ambassador is sent among the heathen. Arise ye, and let us rise up against her in battle. The book of Obadiah is entirely concerning Edom and their judgment. Last question, question number 4. Which statement best captures Edom's symbolic role in later prophetic judgment language? Which statement best captures Edom's symbolic role in later prophetic judgment language? Is it A, Edom becomes a symbol of brotherly betrayal, arrogance, and opposition to Zion, or B, Edom becomes the main symbol of Israel's northern tribes, or C, Edom becomes the priestly nation chosen to replace Levi? That's funny. Or D, Edom becomes the nation appointed to preserve the ark, or E, Edom becomes the prophetic name for restored Judah. These questions are funny. All right. Mr. Weeze is the first to weigh in with an A. Michael Charles Marsh, A. Miss H, also an A. George Evans weighs in with an A. And Yeshahayu, I keep saying that wrong, Yeshayahu Yisrael weighs in with an A. Christine Croning, our beloved elder, also weighs in with an A. Elimelech weighs in with an A. And the answer is... Yes, you know it. The answer is A. This reference comes to us from Malachi 1 and verse 4. Whereas Edom says, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Thus says Yah Shabaoth, they shall build, but I will throw down, and they shall call them the borders of wickedness, and the people against whom Yah hath indignation forever. Congratulations to everyone that did get correct answers. This has been How Hebrew Are You?
Let me make you laugh.
This is our sister who I want to just share this with you all again. I think I may have shared this before, but I want to share this again because it is interesting. I need you to think about a few things here concerning etymology.
Every other person. They are the first to be tied in a box, and then they recruit other people into the box. Hi, Majesties, Kings, and Queens. Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for saying. Trust you and yourself well, and you love yourself and others, like always. I saw something about Maz Dibia. Yeah, I think I have been talking about him here for some time. If you've been with me in the past, you know that I've spoken about him. Okay? On this journey of awakening the continent is one of those who, especially around West Africa, is a known. His voice is known.
I love it that she's involved in the journey of awakening Africa. This is, I mean, it's much needed, my brothers and sisters, right? I mean, if you've ever been over there, then you know what I'm talking about.
Some level, okay? He said something recently about the deity, the fish god, and its connection to the Catholic Church. And he had this explanation, a deeper explanation, while he talked about etymology. And he's someone that he talks a lot about etymology. And he encouraged every African, to study etymology. When you're talking about something, get the etymology of a particular word, understand how these things came to be, so that you can have a solid debate when you are debating about situation that you strongly believe that, maybe you have a particular opinion about. Let's listen to Mazi Dibia say something, and then we continue.
I am telling somebody etymology. And the Reverend Father is telling me, do I mean that the Catholic Church worship the fish deity Dagon? Now the problem I have is this. I said that the day African will start understanding etymology, then our study will be complete. Let me give you an example. What I studied in school is chemical engineering. But the etymology of chemistry is actually from the word Kemet, an ancient land of Africa called Egypt. Now, the original name Kemet, that is the etymology of the word chemistry. So if an African child understands that chemistry has its etymology from the name Kemet, it will now prove that Kemet are actually the founders of chemistry. The Arabians call them Al-Keme, just like you hear them saying Al-Nasa, Al-Kuwait. Okay, so when you hear them say Al-Keme, from the word Al-Keme, we got the word Alchemy. The Arab word Al-Keme gave us the word alchemy, the science of the transmutation of matter. Etymology, pointing to you that Africa is the origin of science.
Yes.
But the problem is that in my days as a chemical engineering student, none of my lecturers taught me that the etymology of the word chemistry is actually from the African word chemet. Now the problem is this, it will now elude me to understand the origin of the knowledge. I will be reading English dictionary and they will sending me etymons from Greek, Latin. Mm-hmm. That is balbadash. Mm-hmm. But if you tell an African child that the etymology of what he's studying is actually from his ancestors, it elates him with pride, give him a sense of reasoning that he's actually the pioneers of ancient knowledge. What am I trying to say? I made a video the other day telling you that every invention started from here. You people don't understand. I told you to research about the Tartarian Empire. That the things you think that they are invented by the white people are actually invented by the black-headed people. For example, while I'm going to Russia is to just prove to you that the Tartarians, who are the pioneers of Russian civilization, are actually black-headed people, including Alexander Pushkin, who gave you the Russian language. He took a black-headed man to develop what we speak today as Russian. If you don't understand the etymology, you will get it wrong. The etymology of the word slave will prove to you that it was not Africans that were slaves. The word slave is from the etymology of the word Slavic, an Indo-European. Slavic. So it is the Slavic people that are actually slaves. From the word Slavic, we got slave. So when I review etymology, I am not here to massage your ego. I'm only teaching you what you fail to learn in your tertiary institutions, in your primary institution, your secondary institution. Because they know that if you learn etymology, you can decipher their lie. For example, when I told you that the etymology of the word church is from the word kuriakon, which means the slave master's house. And people said, why am I saying this? I said, because the word kuriakon means the Lord's house. And the etymology of the word Lord is a slave master, the keeper of the bread. That is to say, when I say kuriakon, I mean slave master. And that is the root word for the word church. So when I said I don't go to church, you look at me like, how can you say you don't go to church? I said I don't go to church because I'm not a slave. Etymology. When you understand the etymology, it will help you to understand origin of words. For example, he took an Enugu man, Kinsil Ugwani, a lecturer in UNN, to add about 20-something words of Nigerian origin into the Advanced Learners Dictionary. For example, the word nyash is now an English word, you know. Originally, nyash was a colloquial expression. You understand what I mean by colloquial expression? It's a slangs. So if I say nyash before, it's a Nigerian slangs for bomb, for the boat. But originally, it is a colloquial expression from Nigeria. But now it's an official English word. So if you go to an advanced Oxford Learners Dictionary, you can see nyash as an English word now. But that does not mean that the etymology is not from Nigeria. Nyash, bomb, is now an English word. So if I'm writing in WAEC and you ask me, and I tell my, and I write in comprehension that the nyash of the lady is so big, it is correct. Because now, Kinsil Ugwani, a lecturer from UNN, who is now part of the lexicographers, have added nyash as an English word. So nyash ablugo Igbo. Now let me now shock you. Abeg is now an English word. Abeg is now officially in the English dictionary.
For those of you that don't know, I beg is their way of saying please, right? I beg is saying please, please.
Bom. Mama put. Damfo. These are all included in the English dictionary. Why am I trying to make this point? To stress the concept of etymology. Etymology traces the origin of the word, traces the history, how the word was formed, so you understand the root word. Okay? So when I give you etymology, I am not massaging your ego. I don't even care whether you like it or not. The word church by etymology means a slave master's house, and I don't care whether you like it or not. So understand the etymology and you have peace. That is why they lied to the African child. That is why you fail to comprehend the mysteries I released for you. So today I posted the Papa cap, and I was explaining to you that the cap that your bishops, your pope wear is from the Dagon deity. The high priest of the Dagon deity wears this Papa cap to represent the deity, the fish deity Dagon. And I said it, a reverend father asked me, am I now saying that the Catholic Church worships Dagon? And I said, if you don't understand the etymology, suit yourself.
Right, Majesties, that's Mazi Dibia there. It's up here on YouTube as well. You can check him out. I'll leave the link to his channel maybe at the description, or I'll write it on the screen so that you can easily, type it out and check him out. He has said a lot. He said everything. If you watch the video where I spoke about the American Catholic priest who said that Yeshua was black, like I said, him admitting that Yeshua was black or is black changes everything. And the reason it carries weight is because the deceit originated even from the Catholic Church. They are the ones that changed the whole situation. And while I was having a discussion with you, I spoke at length about the training that the Catholic priest receives prior to becoming a priest. They'll go through rigorous training, academic, serious trainings, because they have to study philosophy and theology before, becoming a priest. But while they go through these trainings, there are things that are not let out to them. And that's why I told you here that, My Majesties, I'm sorry, but it's not his fault. That priest that questioned Mazipipia, it's not his fault. They might look even very old in the system, who had gone maybe about 25 years as a priest, but there are things that they are still not aware because they are in a box. They are same as every other person. They are the first to be tied in a box. And
so in essence, they don't know how deep the deception goes. They're just simply trying to do their part, and they're thinking that they are doing God's will, but still they're a part of a bigger charade and they don't know it. Well, this has been the Scholar Spotlight, And I would encourage everyone to really think about etymology and do, if you can, get a hold of either the online version or a physical copy, but get a hold of a dictionary of etymology, okay? A dictionary of etymology will give you the roots behind words. You'll get an understanding. And even though they change history, it is the etymology of words that point to a history that they can't erase. So do get a dictionary of etymology. It will serve you good in your library so that you can see where things come from. All right, be right back with our last segment. It's time for our last segment. Yes, you know it. You know what time it is. It's time for Moshe in your kitchen. Yes, it's that time, and we're going to enjoy it. I tell you, I do have some good food waiting for me. Once I get done with you all, hey, we're gonna have a wonderful feast. But for right now, we are getting ready to enjoy Moshe in your kitchen. And yeah.
Welcome to the channel with your friend Bless Roll. Southern cooking is the best, that's one thing we all know. Most comforting meals that everyone will so good. You just might get hooked. Join now. Let's roll.
All right,
Today
folks.
we are going to be cooking this delicious cream of chicken baked chicken. Be sure to watch all the way to the end, and don't forget to like and subscribe.
Okay.
Today I am cooking chicken thighs. I have chicken thighs that came with the bone in and the skin on. I removed the skin because I prefer to bake my chicken without skin. And
okay, but why not cut the fat off the I mean, that's, I don't know, that's...
This is what we're using today. You can leave your skin on. Some people love to eat the chicken skins. See, you got a little bit still left on there. But
yeah, get them scissors and cut it off.
we're going to season up this chicken. I am putting my seasoned salt. Y'all know I like this chicken rub. Link will be in the description if you want to order some. This recipe originally was inspired by Peach McIntyre. I don't know if y'all watch Peach McIntyre or not, but shout out to Peach McIntyre because this is who inspired me to make this chicken. I'm going to be using Badia Complete.
I use Badia Complete. I really do. It's very good, but I would have put some more of that other seasoning on there. It seemed like she didn't put enough.
She has a channel on YouTube and Facebook. We're going to use some onion powder.
She's using what I use. Yep.
I saw a video with her making some cream of chicken, baked chicken, and it looked good to me, and it looked like a good idea.
Okay, she's using everything that I would use. Now, to season the chicken, I'd put gloves on and I'd just kind of like mix it all up. Let's see if she puts gloves on.
And so I decided I want to make some of that. This is garlic powder, and we're going to add on some black pepper.
Okay, she's using everything I use except for that first rub.
After I saw Peach McIntyre make it, I did do a YouTube search, and I did see Ray Mack's Kitchen and Grill. His was a oven baked stewed chicken, but it did have the cream of, I think it had the cream of chicken in it. So shout out to Ray Mack, and then I saw Mama Ray Ray in the kitchen.
Mama Ray Ray. Oh no, not Mama Ray Ray.
And she made a cream.
Mama Ray Ray.
of chicken, baked chicken. Shout out to Mama Riri too. This is my seasoning for both sides of the chicken. We're gonna rub it around, and as y'all know, we have our cream of soups that we're putting on here too. So we're gonna go ahead.
Okay, she gets an extra 2 points from me for putting on them gloves.
And we're gonna rub and season both sides, the underside and the overside.
Girl, you better turn them over and sprinkle some old seasoning on there.
It smells good. We got some good seasoning going on. This is a really good recipe, y'all. We have been eating a lot of baked chicken lately. In the past, we have went years without eating any baked chicken. And this is just another option, another delicious option to making baked chicken so it doesn't have to be the same way every time you bake chicken. And we also been eating a lot more chicken thighs. Let me know in the comments what your favorite piece of chicken is. Now I have me a big bowl. I'm going to go ahead and make my cream of chicken.
I just think she should have put some more seasonings on that.
Topping. I have 1 can of cream of chicken and mushroom, and I have 1 can of cream of chicken soup.
Okay, she can cook. I can tell by her wrist she can cook.
And I'm going to go ahead and add both of those to the bowl. I'm also going to be adding 1 pack of onion soup mix. I'm also going to add about 1/2 of a can of water, and I'm using this to...
Now that is a special secret right there. That onion, that Lipton onion mix, man. If you are into hamburgers, you put a pack of that per pound of hamburger, man, you got some of the best burgers ever.
Mix around in my cans and get the rest of the little soup that might be left in the cans. And I'm going to also add some of this water to my mixture. This is 1/2 can of water. This is going to dilute this a little bit so that it'll spread better with the chicken, on the chicken, over the chicken. I'm going to mix this up. I'm cutting up onion. This is a small size yellow onion. And in the back, I also have 1/2 of a green bell pepper. And
it looks like a white onion to me, but okay.
And 1/2 of a red bell pepper. I have my sponge right here in front of me while I'm cutting this onion. This helps to keep my eyes from burning and watering. I'm going to go ahead and finish cutting up the rest of this bell pepper, and I'll be back to show you what we do next. I'm going to go ahead and add about 1/2 of the onions and peppers that I cut up to the chicken. And I almost forgot my paprika, y'all. So I'm going to get some...
Oh, Lord, don't forget the paprika. You got smoked paprika?
Paprika to add. And while I'm getting the paprika, y'all can go ahead and give this video a thumbs up. And
Now, you all know that paprika is nothing more than ground up, dried red pepper, right?
Subscribe to the channel. Okay, guys, so next we have our cream of chicken mixture that we made up. And we're going to go ahead and add this right on in with the chicken. So I'm going to go ahead and mix this up. Make sure we're still getting our seasoning all over. And I'm going to put the underside of the chicken, side down.
I can honestly say that I've never done the Lipton soup thing.
And the top of the chicken side up. We want cream of chicken all over this chicken. The next thing that we're going to do is put our onion and bell peppers that we cut up earlier. We're going to put the other half of them on top of the chicken. After we put these on top of the chicken, we're going to cover this with aluminum foil, and I'm going to bake it on 350 Fahrenheit for 1 hour and 30 minutes.
Okay.
And then we'll be back.
Let's see it.
So it has been baking for an hour and a half.
Now that actually looks good. That really does look good. Ooh. With that gravy, you have some rice maybe? Yep.
Look at how good they look. The meat should be good and tender.
Let me see. Give me a fork.
Good and tender. We're going to put them back in uncovered. Some of this broth is going to cook down. And we're going to let them brown a little bit on the top. And then we'll be back. If you want your gravy to thicken up when you put it back in the oven, go ahead and get you a tablespoon of cornstarch and about 2 tablespoons of this juice right here and mix it up. And then pour it back in here and stir it around. Put it back in the oven uncovered, and your gravy will be thickened when you take it back out. Let's go make the green beans.
Green beans.
I have some melted butter. I had added in 2 tablespoons of garlic.
Okay.
And I'm going to let this garlic cook for about a minute, and then I'm going to add in my green beans. I have 1 12-ounce bag of fresh green beans that I'm going to add in.
Okay.
To my cooked garlic.
I'll let you slide. What are onions?
I have added in 1 cup of water, and I'm adding in 1 teaspoon of my chicken bouillon powder. This equals to 1 chicken bouillon cube.
Okay.
And I'm going to also add in some black pepper.
Well, your onions, lady.
This is how my green beans turned out. I cooked them uncovered, and then I covered them for about 5 minutes, and voila, yummy deliciousness. I also added some peas to the mix. We're having peas today, and we're also having some rice. The chicken is ready. Look at how delicious it is.
Yeah, that does look good.
Stay tuned for the plate up and the review. While we're waiting on that, go ahead and give this video a thumbs up.
I would give that a bite. I definitely would.
This is some of the best baked chicken I ever had. The flavor's awesome. They got red bell pepper, green bell pepper, and this gravy that come with it is something awesome. I'm blessed, bro, you did that this time. It's what they call bussing.
If you would like to see more videos of some delicious
yum
cooking, go ahead and subscribe to this channel. Thank you so much for joining me today. Have a blessed and beautiful day, and remember to always put God first.
Okay, we're gonna have to check out some more of her plates, because that did look good. I will admit that looked good. Well, brothers and sisters, hey, I'm your Maury for this channel, Melky Uriel. And when I come back, hey, I'm going to check with you all in the chat room to see if you have any comments or questions. Be right back. Hi, I'm Melky Uriel, and I want to come to your church or to sit down with you, Pastor, and have a build where we discuss, open up scriptures, and discuss the realities behind the Hebrew way of life and following the laws. Please call the number below, and if unanswered, please leave a message. Thank you. Shalom.
Makes you laugh.
All right, we are back. All right, Shabbat Shalom to each and every one of you. We are at the end, and you know what? Hey, I want to thank each and every one of you, but I did want to just ask if there were any questions or comments concerning any of the segments that we had on today. And if you have any questions, I'd love to entertain them, or even your comments. Just put it in the chat room and put my name on it and let me know. That will let me know, I should say, that I should address your question or address your comment. With everything that we have discussed, I just simply want to say there are some important things that we did discuss in the Torah portion concerning family and concerning us doing our own work and us actually pleasing the Most High and walking closer to Him and being able to fulfill covenant. As we take a look at Yaakov and how he's dealing with Esau and how the Most High is dealing with covenant with both of them, it's important for us to do the inner work because we are the ones that mess us up. It's amazing to me how Christianity invents a devil and how Christianity says, well, you know, the devil made me do it, or Jesus came to destroy the works of the devil. Hogwash. What we find in the Tanakh is that we are our own demons. We have our own issues. We have our own problems. Maybe some of it is, you know, lent to us. Maybe, I don't know, maybe we're just influenced by others around us. Whatever the point is, we are our own demons and we have our own issues. And even in Israel, just like Jacob and Esau, we have issues that we need to work out. So I don't want us to have these religious glasses on that make us think that we're perfect just because we're Hebrews. No, we have issues that we work out. We live in a very real world. We have very real situations that we deal with. And so it is very important for us to do the inner work. Don't stop working on yourself. Continue to work on yourself. Make yourself more pleasing to the Most High, better to the Most High. Do the inner work. Do justice. Do judgment. Follow the laws, statutes, and the commandments of the Most High. Do what the scripture says, for take heed unto yourself. As it is written in Deuteronomy, take heed unto yourself. Make sure that you know yourself. You understand where you're at. You understand your truth. And you know what? On this week, I did have a trying week. Something hit me very hard this week. And it's something that... when something comes along that will seemingly knock you to your knees, that's a good time for you to just take a deeper look even at yourself and things that are going on. And I must say I'm entering into a more real place, even at the latter part of this week. So, hey, we're going to keep moving. Well, I see that we don't have any questions or comments. So, hey, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to let you all enjoy the rest of your Shabbat. Peace and blessings to you. May the Most High keep you. I want to really thank those of you that are here. We had some brothers that came in. Just a little bit later. Really thanking all of you for being here. And I just simply want to say that you all help me to fulfill my life purpose, which is to teach and to spend time with you all. I really do appreciate you. To our brother that came out, Yashayahu Yisrael, peace and blessings to you, Ben Naphtali, and to the whole family. I'm very thankful that you're here, Mr. Weeze, Miss H. I could call you all off, but I'd miss a name or two, and I'm so sorry. Brother George Evans, I don't want to miss anyone. Brother Bergen Paris, that I've already mentioned. Did I mention Mr. Weeze, Michael Charles Marsh? I mean, hey, I love your family. I love each and every one of you. Do have a blessed week. Yah willing, we will see you for midweek where we get knee deep into some interesting things. And hey, long story short, it's time for you to spend more time with the Most High and enjoy the rest of your Shabbat. Well, peace and blessings to you. I pray that the Most High bless you and keep you, smile upon you. Remember, you dwell in the secret place of the Most High. You abide under the shadow of the Almighty. And He is your refuge. He is your fortress. He has been our habitation throughout all generations. And we're so thankful that there is no weapon that is formed against you that can prosper against you, for the Most High is with you. He watches over you and He keeps you in His path, in His will, and He keeps you from presumptuous sins. May the Most High bless you. And hey, I love you all. Shabbat Shalom.